a lot of truth to it because again, it goes back to balance. You can't be all one way or all the other. You
That's
can't be
right.
all in, all out. You got to have balance in it. Also, one other thing I think is worth mentioning here is then there's this other inner voice of us that's fear, that's driven by fear, which is very different from your intuition. Intuition
Yes.
comes from a place of calm. Fear comes from a place of stress and anxiety. So I think maybe this is an assumption. It doesn't have anything to do with any kind of studies or research I've done. But I think maybe
You're just following your intuition.
Right. I think maybe people don't lean into their intuition because they can't discern it from what's fear, stress, and anxiety to what's my calm inner voice telling me in this moment.
Or even worse, what if they challenge that intuition as soon as they hear it? So like, hey, lean into this thing, and then you immediately hear the voice that says, "But what if I'm wrong?" You know? Hey, you know what? If you're wrong, you'll adjust, you'll adapt. You know, what if you touch the stove and it's on? You're going to take your hand off, right? Because you just got new information, right? So if I touch something that's hot, I'm just going to make a decision. I'm going to adapt, and it's probably going to be an impulse. It's going to be a reaction. I don't have time to think in those moments. And I think that's where, if we could teach ourselves to be more reactive, be more responsive, and kind of make it an involuntary response to trust our gut. What if you could make it that powerful and create an involuntary response to always trust your gut?
Right. So now
what kind of difference would that make in your life?
Right. So now if we take that exact question and tie it into money, I think our listeners are going to be like, "Ooh, I can't do that." Because money really has so much more behind it, right?
Sure.
It's not just this paper or plastic thing that we use. There's so much emotion tied into our money. So when we're asking people, listen to your intuition when it comes to your money, maybe it's like, whoa, I can't do that because I'm not familiar with this. This is something that causes me stress, causes me heartache. This is something that
fear.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, we got to be careful here, right? It would be easy to say, follow these rules, do these things because this is the right way. But we're actually trying to say, don't listen to what we're saying. Don't listen to what others are saying. We're saying, listen to your own inner voice and use the information that you have to make the best decision that you can. So I didn't create this phrase, but I've heard it over and over, and I've started to use it a lot, now in this stage of life, which is take the information that you have and make the best decision that you can. So that available information is ever changing, right? You learn something new every minute of every day, whether you realize it or not. So you're getting inputs all the time. Make the best decision you can. What that means is trust your gut. You've got the information, right? And you've got the ability to make a decision. Do you have the confidence to make the decision? And so I think, put those two things together and just use that as kind of your baseline, your criteria for trusting your gut, for making that decision. Take the information that you have, make the best decision that you can, and then do it again, right? And so this goes back to, I can't remember if we've shared it in this one or not. I think we have in this show, but I've shared it a ton in other ways, which is make a small change, learn from it. Make a bigger change, learn from that, repeat, right? This is kind of how I've been living my life for several years now, and it really works, and I think it's easy to say that, but start putting that into practice in your life for whatever that means, right? Whether you're, at any stage of life, at any different age range, whatever your social status is, whatever your employment status is, it doesn't really matter, right? Just make a change, identify and make a change. Doesn't matter what it is, right, wrong, indifferent. The point is you're going to take an action, right? You're going to learn from that action, which now we've got new information. Now you've got a little bit of courage. You did something and the world didn't explode, right? So I make an adjustment. I did something. Maybe it worked. Maybe it didn't. I'm going to do something a little bit different. Maybe I'm going to take a little bit bigger risk. I'm going to dip my toe a little farther into that water, and then I'm going to adjust from that. And I'm just going to keep doing this over and over and over. It will breed confidence over time.
I want to lean into what you're saying. So if you're someone who doesn't trust themselves with their money, give some of it away. Don't hold on to it so tight.
See what happens.
And don't and see what happens.
Yeah.
So give a little. Give a little away. See how it makes you feel. See how you feel after you part with it. See what happens. And then give a little more away. And as you start releasing your money, what you're going to find is going to happen is it's not this thing that you're holding on so tight to that you're constricting it.
Yeah.
You're not sucking the life out of it. You don't have this energy attached to it that's maybe negative, because when you give something away, right, that unleashes and unlocks so many positive
Absolutely.
stimulations and emotions throughout our brain and our body and our system.